You know, when it comes to serial killers, there are just standout names, right? Like, I could do the list here. Dahmer, Bundy, Night Stalker, Zodiac, Green River, but I would not list among them Cottingham and Sells. I don't know those names at all, and I work in crime. Why don't I? Why do I only know all these famous faces? Because apparently these horrible serial killers might not even be as horrible as the next people I'm going to discuss. And there is nobody better to discuss this with than Dr. Katherine Ramsland. She's a professor of forensic psychology and author of the book Confession of a Serial Killer. Dr. Ramsland, why is it that I don't know some of the names of people who may be arguably worse than the Bundys and the Dahmers and the Zodiacs of the world? Why do the other ones fly under the radar?
Often it's about timing, it's about the victims they choose, it's about some of the things they do, and sometimes it's about their race.
Well, can I go over a couple with you and maybe tell me why, like, who is Lawrence Bittaker, the toolbox killer, and what is his story?
Well, he was called the toolbox killer. He did this with another killer, and he had a toolbox full of hammers, ice picks, and pliers. He actually had the nickname Pliers, and he'd use the pliers on these young women that they kidnapped on their vulnerable places to make them scream so he could record it and listen to it later.
Jeez. What about David Parker Ray? Now, it's not toolbox, it's toy box. It's just a little bit different, but toy box killer. What's he all about?
Well, he actually had a soundproof container box that filled with torture instruments. He loved mind games. I actually saw one of the videos he took of torturing one of his victims. He would keep them in a coffin. He would show them the things he had done to prior victims so that they knew what was coming. And then he would use all these different instruments on them from his toy box.
And then this other name, I, again, don't know it, Joseph Vacher. He was France's Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, Vacher is very interesting. He would wander the countryside of France. This is just a few years after Jack the Ripper, and nobody knew who Jack the Ripper was. So they wondered if this might be Jack the Ripper leaving London and going to France. He would find these young shepherds, usually teenagers, who were alone, no witnesses, and he would strangle them, mutilate them, gut them, rape them, do horrible things to them, and then have sex with the bodies.
Geez, it's hard to fathom the behaviors of so many of them. And this is your business. You live in this world. What in your mind makes some of these serial killers worse than the others? Like, what's your sort of hit list for what classifies them as really, truly the lowest of the low?
The planning of the torture, the pleasure they get out of making people feel maximum pain for the longest possible time before they die, and then to use ways to relive that over and over again, to feel powerful because someone else has suffered at their hands.
And can I also ask you what's worse? I think physical pain, but the psychological pain, that's also something pretty significant. You know, BTK, I think one of the issues about his predilection was that he enjoyed the moment that the victim saw it coming, that the bag was going over the head and they saw that they were about to suffocate. That was what he used to like the most. Am I wrong?
That is what he liked, but he liked the binding. He liked their helplessness. And yet I still think the kinds of physical pain that, like if you put an ice pick through someone's ear who's alive and you stomp on it, I think that's a lot worse. It's really horrible.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's amazing. I can't believe that you do this, like, day in, day out. You're made of steel. You're a remarkable woman. This is just part one, Dr. Ramsland. I can't wait till you come back next week with part two. There's a couple of other examples that they're just, they're spine-chilling. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.